Monday through Sunday on Lakeshore Drive in Waco.
All right, Dave Bartu's got all of you lit up on the chat room and text line as well. And now we check in on Texas A&M. The Aggies, of course, had that great win against Alabama. They've kind of steadied the ship, and now Auburn coming in for the weekend as well after their win against Ole Miss. Should be a heck of a game. Olin Buchanan. Olin, they have steadied the ship. The win against Alabama was shocking, and that's been a while. But what I thought I learned about them was not that game, but was how they then handled that game and how they have just kind of taken care of their business ever since. Is that a sign of a mature football team?
Yeah, I think that's fair, David. I'll admit I was shocked when they beat Alabama. Now I did take A&M to cover. I thought they were better than they were showing. But I never thought they'd beat Alabama, and they played so well in that game. And then I thought, maybe they're going to be in for a letdown going on the road against a Missouri team that they feel like they're better than, and they got out to a 21-point lead and kind of took the foot off the gas. Then they were very dominant against South Carolina. Now I understand those two teams, Missouri and South Carolina, are not, elite by any means. But, if you're a good team, you're supposed to control inferior teams, and that's what they've done. So we've known all year, or we felt all year, that A&M was good enough to beat anybody, but not good enough to take anybody for granted. And I think that's been proven out this year.
This matchup against Auburn, it's number 13 versus number 14. Olin, they're right next to each other in the rankings, and there's some similarities in that, Auburn's got a quarterback in Bo Nix who is not great. But he's wily and makes things happen, and A&M's got a quarterback in Zach Calzada who's just starting to find himself.
Yeah, and they both like to rely heavily on the running game. Two of the better running backs in the SEC, Isaiah Spiller and Tank Bigsby. I think they both have receivers that are pretty good, but haven't been shown to be great, with the exception of Nye Smith at A&M, and good strong defenses. So I think they both want to run the football, and I think whichever team is more successful running the football, and with A&M defensively, that means also containing Bo Nix on not letting him turn broken plays in the long runs, which he did last year against the Aggies for a touchdown. But I think the team that has the most success running the football is probably going to win.
Olin, what have you thought about what you've seen from Zach Calzada now that there's been a good amount of games and plays to be able to have something to go off of other than just a handful of plays?
I think he's been kind of schizophrenic, because who saw that coming against Alabama when he completes his first 10 passes, 13 of 14, and then when Alabama gets the lead, he takes A&M down on 2 scoring drives to win the game. That's Heisman Trophy level stuff if you're able to do it all year. Now, he hasn't been able to do that all year. And one of the things that is frustrating about Zach is that he struggles with the short passes. I'm talking about the little, swing passes out into the flat. He has a really big arm, and I don't think he's learned how to control it yet. And more than a few times he's had guys open, in the flat. It's all set up, screen pass or just a swing pass for what looks like it's going to be a big gain. And, he's throwing it in, as hard as he can, it appears. I think as Brent Zernan for the Houston Chronicle said, he plays like Nolan Ryan at times when he needs to beat Bob Nepper. So if he can get that under control, I think that's the next step in his development, is just adding a little more touch on some of those short passes, because if he does that and defenses have to react to him, then of course, that should open up some space in the middle of the field.
So you're saying he's a young Kenny Rogers? The lefty for the Rangers? Yeah.
He could be. He throws hard all the time.
And then became a really, really good pitcher when he found that off-speed pitch and a couple of others as well along the way. Olin, we just had Dave Bartu on College Football Matrix, and he kind of knows the ins and outs of the college football standings. I know A&M's outside of that conversation, and obviously with the 2 losses despite the win against Alabama. What are your thoughts about the 4 that they named? as far the top four, at least the first out of what are, of course, many to come?
Well, I think we all agree on Georgia at number one. And quite frankly, I haven't seen a team that I think is better than Alabama at number two. I have no problem. I think they had Michigan State 3. Is that right?
No, Oregon is 3. Isn't Oregon 3? Yeah.
Okay. I would personally, I probably would put Michigan State 3 because they are unbeaten. And, they beat a Michigan team that I think they've got pretty highly ranked. And
they are. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Michigan State is 3.
Oregon is 4. I'm sorry. There you go.
Okay. Well, then, all of that makes perfect sense to me. I know Oregon hadn't played particularly well of late, but the fact is, they're 7-1, and that win over Ohio State, you can't take it away. At least I don't think you can. So that speaks a lot until somebody else beats them. I think you would always have to keep them ahead of Ohio State. And I think Oklahoma is a team that we've all seen it. The way they've struggled against Tulane and West Virginia. I wouldn't go bet on them to beat Baylor or Iowa State or Oklahoma State. And I think Cincinnati, when you look at them, I know it seems like there's a big media push to try to get Cincinnati in. And that win over Notre Dame is pretty impressive. But if you take away that one game, their FBS opponents are combined 17-30.
Go ahead.
The strength of schedule is not there.
Yeah, the thing is, we've had, and we're not going to get into the Randys with you because we're talking about A&M as well. But it's like if Clemson had Wake Forest resume, would they be 9?
I don't know. Maybe not. Probably not.
I think, and we can go all day with that.
Yeah, would Clemson give up 56 points to Army?
Good point, yeah.
I don't know if they didn't practice for the option. Yeah, they probably a triple option. Olin Buchanan with us, TexAgs.com on Sikkim 365 Radio.
Oh, and I just figured I'd ask, any update on Haynes King and just kind of where he is?
Yeah, I don't. There hasn't been. The last time Jimbo talked about it, he said, he's going to be out. It's going to be a long time.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's going to be back this year. We were hoping that he would be back for this week, coming off the open week. But, if he's not back now, I think it's Calzada's car to drive the rest of the way.
Wow. Yeah. Is he because he's playing? Is it because he can't play or because they just don't want to risk him and Calzada's playing well enough that they're okay?
I think it's just from what we've been told, I think it's still about the injury.
Okay.
I mean, he did have a broken leg. It actually broke. And I don't think it healed as fast as they were hoping that it would. Now, maybe, who knows? Maybe he'll be able to come back and get back in action in a couple of weeks. But as it stands right now, he's not. And quite frankly, I can't imagine that they would change now, even if he could.
Olin, thank you. Enjoy that one. Auburn this Saturday at Kyle Field ought to be rocking with 100,000+. Texas A&M and Auburn in a really interesting showdown in the SEC. When we come back,